Hello, in this video we are looking at a Bodhicaryavatara, chapter 6, verse 40. I'll read it through once without text and then call up the text. Ata dosho yamagantu sattva prakriti peshalaha tatapyayuktastat gopaha katudhume yathambare. Look at it again now with the text up. Here we are. Ata doshoyamagantu sattvaha prakritipe-shalaha tatapyayuktastat gopaha katudhume yathambare. Ata, basic meaning here, and often used to mean, as in this instance, in this respect, in fact. I see I've gone on. Lost my borders again. All borders. Oops, hang on. Sorry, I don't know why this happens. Borders, all borders. Here we are, back again. Here, in this respect, in fact, something like that. In fact, dosha ayam, which by Santi becomes doshoyam. This is ayam, meaning this. Normally we find it before the noun that it qualifies, this fault, rather than fault this, but occasionally you find it afterwards. It makes no difference to the meaning. So doshaha ayam by Santi doshoyam, this fault. Agantuh is adventitious. I'll explain that word in more detail in a moment. Sattvaha prakriti peshalah. Sattvaha, beings, are nature kind, or kind by nature, or benevolent, well-wishing by nature, have I translated here? Yeah, kind by nature. Prakriti, that which is prakriti, from the root kri, to make, prakriti, to make forth. It's also been interpreted as that which was made at the beginning, that which occurred at the beginning of the known physical universe. That's also possible. I mean, that this is an interpretation that is put forward by some. Maybe it's both that which was made first and also that which makes itself forth. So nature reproduces itself. It's in the nature of nature, to reproduce itself. And human, animal, plant life, nature carries on reproducing itself. And I think it's no accident that prakriti in that meaning is actually etymologically the same as procreare, English to procreate. Prakriti, procreate. So therefore it means nature, that which procreates. Nature carries on reproducing itself, procreates itself. But here it means nature in the sense of it's in your nature to be a certain way. That's how it's meant. It's used here, rather in the same way as swabhava was used in the previous verse, when one's own being. So here the origins of those two words, swabhava and prakriti, of course, entirely different, and the tone is different. But in this context, what is it in one's nature to be? What do you naturally do? In this particular case, the meanings quite strongly overlap. So if sattva, beings, are prakriti peshala, are nature kind, in other words, kind by their own nature, what they naturally are is kind towards others. And this doshoyam, this fault, this vice of causing hurt to others, is agantu, is an upstart, an interloper, an adventitious thing. Let me explain this agantu. Call up the iPad. Here we are. It's from our root gam, to come. Sorry, gum to go. Gum, to come. Um, there is, it's not very frequently used in classical Sanskrit, but it was very common in Vedic. This suffix tu, added to a root, um, just to make a verbal noun. It's very frequently used in classical Sanskrit in its accusative form tum, which then is described as the infinitive, agantum, to come infinitive. It's, yes, okay, that explanation is all right as far as it goes for classical Sanskrit. Um, but the root of it is that it is the act of coming, the act of doing something. It can, so here it means is an agantu, is something that comes, um, or a coming, and by extension, in this case, an agantu is one who's just turned up, a personal thing that's just turned up, almost like an interloper, a gate crasher. Means it doesn't really belong with you. An agantu in your house doesn't belong within the household as part of the family, somebody who's arrived there. And we have the imagery frequently seen about how the chitta, same in Sanskrit and Pali, the chitta, the mind, heart, being naturally, in Pali, pabassaram, radiant, luminous, but then it is defiled by adventitious or upstart, gate-crashing defilements, this agantu. You'll often see it in the adjectival form as well, this, that the that the kleshas are agantuka. Agantuka is just an adjectival form of agantu. So the kleshas are just like gate crashers, people who've arrived who don't really belong, transient guests in your house. They do not belong with the family. So that imagery is used. These kleshas that we have are not really us. They don't really belong with us. They've barged in, and this is the meaning that it has here. Um, Doshoyam agantuh, this fault, this vice that people have of causing harm and hurt to others, is agantuh. It's just it's an interloper, a gate crash. It's a supervening quality that doesn't really belong. It's something stuck on top. So atadoshoyam agantuh sattva prakriti peshala. Beings are nature kind by their own nature. Tatapi, and so just for that reason, have I put it here? Tatapi, yeah. So just for that reason, tatkopaha, anger towards him or them, him, her, or them, is ayukta, is unbefitting, out of place. We had in the previous verse this gopo nayukto me, this gopa is not befitting, is not appropriate for me, and here we have the negated form ayukta. Tat gopa could equally have been teshu gopa, separate words, anger towards them. Here it's made into a compound, tat gopaha. When you make a compound with the third person demonstrative pronoun, he, she, it, or they, masculine, feminine, or neuter, Anger towards them, masculine and neuter, would be teshu kopaha. Anger towards them in the feminine form would be tasu kopaha. Anger towards him or it in the singular locative would be tasmin kopaha. And in the feminine singular locative would be tasyang kopaha. All of these forms will be readily available to you. Make sure that you have them. It's in the Monia Williams at paragraph 110 on page 75. You see, I've just been through those. If you look at the table in the middle of the page, the one beginning with Saha, at the bottom of that table, just above the line where it says dual, you get tasmin masculine and neuter singular locative tasmin, feminine locative tasyam, feminine singular. In the plural, the masculine and the neuter locative is teshu, and the feminine plural locative is tasu. So, whenever for any of these forms of the third person demonstrative pronoun, he, she, it, they, whenever you make a compound, the compounded form for all of them is just tat. So even whether it's singular or plural, masculine, feminine, or neuter, you just have one's compound form. So that's how we get this form tat ko paha. And so whether tat means towards her or towards him or towards them, anger towards her, him, it, them, you just have to know from context. So I was saying you could break up the compound equally correctly, have it as separate words, tasmin kopa, tasyam kopa, teshu kopa, tasu kopa, or compound it tat kopa. So anger at them, anger towards them, is ayukta. Goes by sante ayuktaha, followed the aha, the visarga, followed by the ta, becomes ayuktas. So ayuktaha tatkupa becomes ayuktas tatkupa with the influence of the following ta on the preceding visarga. Tatapi, and so exactly that way, ayuktas tatkupa. Unbefitting is anger towards them. Yatha, just as katudhume ambare. Ambara means sky. Katu means sharp, like a thorn or a blade, but also means sharp, pungent, as in a taste or a smell. So katudhuma means smoke, and katudhuma, again, the adjective could be kate dhume. So no, it would have to. So kato dhuma, acrid smoke. But here it's a compound, acrid smoke, like a sky having acrid smoke. So katu dhuma, acrid smoke. It's in the locative case because it's the kopa, anger towards the ambare, towards the sky, that is katudhuma, that is acrid smoke. So it means anger towards the sky that is filled with acrid smoke. So he's saying here that to feel anger towards somebody who has this dosha as an agantuka, who has this dosha as somebody who's gate crashed him, who's barged into him, doesn't really belong there, is just as ayukta, just as unbefitting, inappropriate as anger towards the karudhume ambare, an acrid smoked sky. So you aren't angry with the sky because there's some smoke in the air. The smoke doesn't. The smoke comes and goes. The smoke will go, and it will then return to being clear, open space. That's essentially what he's saying here. So I'll read through it again. Atta dosho yamagantu sattva prakriti peshala tatapyayuktastat gopaha katudhume yathambare. And once more. Atta dosho yamagantu sattva prakriti peshala tatapyayuktastat gopaha katudhume yathambare. And that's it on this video.